Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I haven't been posting recently, but today, as you can see, we are going to be looking at a ton of all of my anatomy and physiology equipment that I have. I just wanted to show you guys this stuff so that I could show you how much I admire the human body. Don't take that in a weird way. I just love how complex it is and how amazing it is. I just wanted to show you it. So yeah, I'm going to be showing you that today. Okay guys, so the first series of books that we're going to be looking at is the Dr. Bonafide series. It's from Know Yourself Academy, so shout out to them. They are incredible. They are so good at making these books. They're great comics. They're amazing at making storylines and teaching in the same way. So making entertainment and education at the same time. They're super fun. They're fun to read. Yeah, so I'm going to be showing you these books first. So yeah. So the first one we're going to be looking at is this one. This one is the very first book I ever read from the Know Yourself Academy series. It was, this is the bones of the arms, the hand, the arm, and the shoulder. And all it is it teaches you, well, for some reason it teaches you the sign language alphabet, but it teaches you a ton about the anatomy, not very much the physiology, but mostly the anatomy of like every bone. Like it tells you about every bone, not just this book, but all four of these, this one, and this one. These four books right here teach you all about the anatomy of the bones and stuff like that. So this one just teaches about the hands and the arms and the shoulders. So you got your phalanges, and for the phalanges you got your distal, intermediate, and proximal, and then you got your metacarpals, and then your carpals. So that's just basic anatomy of the hand. And then you got your shoulders and clavicles and cervicals. And so yeah, that's that book. Let's check out the next book. Hey guys, so the next one is similar to the handbook, but it's instead of the feet. The feet are kind of similar to the hands, but this also talks about the leg and the pelvis. But it's going to teach you all the anatomy of the feet, the leg, and the pelvis. So the feet are kind of the same as the hand, like I already told you. They got the distal, the intermediate, and the proximal metatarsals. Instead of carpals, it's tarsals. So you got the metatarsals and the tarsals. Some of the tarsals are bigger, like the calcaneus and the talus, but we don't need to worry about that. And then you got the legs, and there's basic leg bones like the tibia, the fibula, and the femur. So those are the basic ones. And then you got the pelvis, which just usually contains the sacrum and your tailbone and your coccyx. So yeah, that's basically all this one talks about, but it's still really important. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this next one is interesting. So basically this one talks mainly about the rib cage and the spine. That might not seem like a lot, but it is so important. The spine is one of the most important bones in your body, multiple bones. You got all your vertebrae, that's the sternum. Then you got all your ribs, obviously. There's about 24 in men, 25 in women. Dr. Mike, if you ever watch this, don't scream at me if I'm wrong. Okay, don't ever repeat that joke. I just made a terrible joke. Okay, so yeah, the sternum is basically what protects your heart. Your heart's obviously in there, and your lungs. Then you have all your spine, and the sections it goes, you can see it says L2, T12, and you can't really see it because the sternum's blocking it, but then there's C1, C2, C3. There's about, that stands for lumbar, thoracic, and cervical. So the lumbar is basically kind of like the supportion, like it supports your back mainly, like it takes all the pressure. So you got your lumbar 1, 2, lumbar 1, 2, and then it goes down 3, 4, 5. But you can't see it on the book. And then there's thoracic 12. There's about 12 of them. Thoracic 12, 10, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's 7 cervicals. Cervicals if you're to break your cervical, you have a high chance of breaking your spinal cord, and that could lead to paralyzation. You do not want to be paralyzed. It's that would suck. But actually, you can kind of see that's one of the cervical vertebrae. Yeah, that says C7. It's kind of hard to see, but that says C7. And so yeah, that's basically Dr. Bonafide, book 3 for the anatomy of the bones. I'm super excited about this one because this one was my favorite anatomy of the bones book to read because the bone had so many more bones. The skull, oh my gosh. The skull had so many more bones than I thought it did. So you got so many. The frontal is obviously one of them, but behind that you actually have your temporal, your occipital, and your yeah, that's it actually. And then you got your mandible, so that's your jaw, and then you got your zygomatic, which is your cheekbones, and then you got some other ones. Yeah, you can see temporal right there. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, that's temporal. Then you got your symphoid. So that's basically it for the skull. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting. So now we're getting into the anatomy and physiology, mainly physiology now. So the Know Yourself Academy made these anatomy books, but now we're going to be talking about the physiology books that they created. This one's off of the 5 senses. So you got taste, smell, what else is there? Hearing, there's feel, taste, smell, hearing, feel, and oh my gosh, what? If someone in the comments down below say what is the last sense. For some reason, I've completely lost what it is. There's taste, there's hearing, there's sight, there's taste, feel, sight, smell, and I can't remember the last one. But whatever. Who cares? Who cares? But yeah, so this one, what's really cool about these physiology ones is they tell like a whole story throughout the book. So look at, there's this whole comic section that slowly gets you into the part where it eventually talks about the anatomy and stuff. But there's also a catch. These books all talk about a country as well. This one's Greece. This one talks about Greece. So after the comic, they start talking about Greece. And they start all talking about Greece and the history of Greece. So it's not only medical, it's also historical and geographical. So yeah, that's really cool. That's off the 5 senses. So let's go to the next one. Okay, I'm gonna start going fast on these ones because we don't have all day. But this one's the skeletal system. It also tells a comical story and it's about Russia. So this is a really cool book. It's the number 2 off of the physiology Know Yourself Academy system. So let's move on to the next one. Next one is off of the circulatory system. It's based off the circulatory system is basically the system that moves all your blood, and that blood carries oxygen, so carries oxygen and blood throughout your body, and helps you live, basically. So it's a very important one, system, and it talks about China. So move on to the next one. So they used a very interesting name for this one. If you guys don't know what the renal system is, I'm going to shorten it down for you. So the renal system is basically, you've probably heard of the urinary system. So yeah, this one contains your bladder and other stuff, and your kidneys, and yeah, so that's basically the renal system, or the urinary system, for your understanding. Yeah, it talks about Assyria, so yeah. This one is the digestive system. You all know what the digestive system is. You think it's gross. I'm just kidding. But some of you might. But yeah, it's the 5th book. It has a comical story like the others, and it talks about Japan, and I love Japan, by the way. Sushi. Okay, so the next one is the immune system, which is one where it contains some organs, but some of them are unrecognizable. I'm pretty sure it contains the liver, and the gallbladder. It just mainly contains organs and systems that help filter out things such as blood. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the spleen is also part of the immune system. It just filters out like bad stuff inside of either the digestive system or in your blood. So the spleen, it clears out iron and other materials and recycles them from your blood. So that is the immune system. By the way, it talks about England. Okay, so the next one is the muscular system, the number 7. You all know what the muscular system is. I really have nothing to say about it, except there is a surprising amount of over 600 muscles in the body, which is insane, considering how big some of the muscles in your body are, such as your gluteus maximus. So yeah, talks about France. Okay, so this next one is another unrecognizable one. This is the endocrine system. It's number 8, and the endocrine system is basically the system that controls hormones. So there's basically these different glands. Some of the glands, for example, are the thyroid, the pancreas, the pituitary, and the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is basically the control center of all the glands, and the pituitary is the assistant, and well, you already know probably what he controls. And this one talks about Cuba and their love of baseball, apparently. Okay, the next one, and I know, guys, this is taking forever, but don't worry, we're almost done. We only have like 3 more books after this one. And then we'll review some other books. We'll look at some posters and some of the stuff that I use to help study. But yeah, so this is the respiratory system, which is the system that controls your breathing. You all know that. And breathing, not surprisingly, it's an involuntary action. If you don't know what that means, it means that you do not need to do anything for you to naturally breathe. I know some of you are probably thinking, but you can hold your breath and that's controlling it. But if you just if you fall asleep, you are still breathing, right? So it's involuntary because you're not doing anything. The same with the heart. The heart just beats, obviously. So yeah, that's the respiratory system. Also talks about nothing actually. I thought it said liver, but no. Talks about Kenya. Again, another unrecognizable one. This is probably the most weird and unusual system, the lymphatic system, which is, if you guys know, you know what the tonsils are. The tonsils are known as a lymph node, and there is a thing called lymph node cancer, and that's basically when you are, sorry, my shadow is getting in the way of this setting. But yeah, so this is the lymphatic system, and honestly, it's really hard to explain what they do. But yeah, that's the lymphatic system. Talks about Tenochtitlan. Chitlin. Okay, only 2 more. So this one's the nervous system. You all know what the nervous system is. It's from the brain and all your nerves and your neurons. And yeah, this one is Guadalcanal. Out of all the places that they could have chose, they chose this random. Okay, so you all know how I was complaining about how that last one was a complete weird place to talk about, but I remembered that all these places that they talk about, they have a story based off one of the systems that they used a lot in that place. I know it sounds like weird, but it's true. Like, they actually did. This is the integumentary system, or to help you understand, it's the skin system. So yeah, basically your skin. Oakland is their place. The skin is actually extremely complex. There's about 3 layers. There's the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layer. The subcutaneous layer is basically all the fat under your skin. So that's where the fat gets stored. That's why you have some. That's why your skin is like, you can like bend it. I don't know, but so the epidermis is actually thin as a sheet of paper, so that's crazy. The epidermis is extremely thick. It's basically just known for its pores and nerve endings. The dermis is the most complex, with a ton of stuff, all your hair follicles, and where your nerve endings start, and all the crazy stuff. So yeah, that's the integumentary system. Oakland. Oh my gosh, guys, we are finally done with the Know Yourself Academies. That was awful. My knees hurt like crap. So now we're just going to review some of these books that are on the ground right now. We're not even going to talk about them. I'm just going to show you what they are. And, okay, something happened back there, weird. I'm not going to restart this video because of that, though. So yeah, let's start with, the, ology books that I got for, Christmas last year. Neurology, the study of nerves for kids. Yep. Talks about neurology. Next one is gastroenterology, which is for kids. Obviously, this is like the basics. These books. This is the study of the digestive system and how it works. So yeah. Okay, this one's different. This is anesthesiology, which is not actually the study of a system, but the study of a doctor that injects medicine in your body that puts you to sleep during a surgery. This is extremely important because these people, not only do they get paid a lot, the reason they get paid a lot is because their job is super important for the like for the sake of you and not feeling pain. This is like, if you've ever had a surgery and you've gone to sleep, that's that the person who gives the shot is an anesthesiologist. That's, sorry, I took a little longer than I should have on this one, but yeah, that's anesthesiology. So the study of medicine, certain medicine. So yeah, this next one is cardiology, and cardiology is the study of the heart and the circulatory system, basically. Not really, but like, what I'm trying to say is cardiology is basically the study of the heart, the blood, the arteries, the everything. And fun fact, the biggest artery in the body is your aorta. Okay, I don't know why I said that, but yeah. To end with the ologies, we got dermatology, which is derm is the skin, so like integumentary, but derm, as you heard me saying, that you got the epidermis and the dermis and the subcutaneous, which doesn't really say dermis in it, but the subcutaneous is basically one of the layers. So yeah, that's dermatology, and it talks a lot about skin diseases because there is so many out there. So yeah, that's dermatology for kids. Now we're just gonna start talking about some of the books that I own. So this one I personally like. It's a really great book for kids who are wanting to study this, either if it's for a biology class, a health class, or anything. But this is Human Anatomy for Kids. It talks a ton about the anatomy, as you can see. I'll just flip through it a little bit. You got some pretty cool stuff in there. It talks a ton about, it has a bunch of subcategories about breathing. I saw breathing in there, and other stuff such as your blood pumping, just simple stuff for beginners. So yeah, that's Human Anatomy for Kids. Okay, this one's gonna be super short because I have actually not gotten into this book yet. It looks like it's an activity book, so when I see activity book, that means there's gonna be some coloring things in there. It looks like there's some anatomy and facts that I'm probably gonna need to know, so I will definitely look into that book. But yeah, that's Human Body Anatomy Facts and Activity book, I guess. Yep. Okay, so none of you guys know, but the certain type of doctor I want to be when I grow up is actually a neurosurgeon. So neurosurgeon is basically a person who operates on the brain. So I've not looked into this book, but it looks super interesting. I love the neural system, which is the system of the brain and the nerves and the spinal cord especially, and stuff like that. So yeah, my first book about the brain, probably going to have a ton of anatomy and all the physiology for it. I can tell it's pointing at some certain things and then having a whole paragraph on them. So yeah, I'm assuming that. So yep. Yeah, this is an eyewitness book. Any of you don't know what eyewitness books are? It's a series that they have a ton of different categories on a ton of different things, but this one's the human body. Obviously, is going to go in order. Usually, how I like books to go in order is it starts about the cells and gets more complex and more complex as we go. So yeah, this is the human body. I'm assuming it's going to do that because it starts out with cells. So yeah, I guess. This one I actually found not knowing I had. I'm pretty sure I got this one for Christmas just this year. It's a great, fun-looking book. It looks like it has a ton of anatomy in there. Looks like something about the ears. Yeah, by the way, do not put Q-tips in your ears. It just squishes the wax into your ear. But, why do I keep giving random facts out? Someone comment how stupid I am and how, weird socially I can be sometimes. Okay. So this next one is the Atlas of the Human Skeleton. I love the word atlas. I don't know why. But this one, yeah, bunch of stuff. Looks like it's got some anatomy on the sides pointing at some, looks like we got the ethmoid bone, the lacrimal bone. That's some of the eye socket and nasal bones. But yeah, so that's just the atlas. So basically the atlas is the physiology and anatomy. So basically like all the other ones. Just, I guess, yeah. More bones. I don't know why I have so many books about the bones, but yeah, this is we talk about the bones a lot, I guess, but yeah, this is the skeleton book, and this one I like personally because it talks a lot about the development of bones, So I'm assuming you guys know that when you're born, you start out with more bones than you have when you're an adult. You start out with like something like 300, and you usually end at an adult with 206 because you start out with multiple bones, and then your bones, when you get older, fuse together into bigger bones, leaving you with less than you started. So usually 300 to 206. There's only two more things to review. The next two things I'm going to review is this. So I'm going to review to you guys. This is my sketch pad. I don't know if it's mine or not because I just randomly found it today, but I'm definitely going to use it for sketching anatomy and stuff. I'm probably writing as well, but that's mainly going to be for the next thing I'm going to be talking about. So yeah, I love this notebook. This is the notebook I'm going to be using to take a ton of notes on everything I learn in all the anatomy. I really need to get some physiology books or posters because I have a ton of anatomy stuff. Way too much anatomy stuff, and I really need to learn the physiology because anatomy is basically when it's just the names and where they are located in the body, but the physiology is how they work and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is my notebook. Got my coloring stuff, obviously. The final things I'm going to be reviewing today in this video can finally be over. I'm so sorry I took so long. It's probably going to be like something like a really long video, probably like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not sure. Not surprised if I'm wrong, but that's my estimate. But yeah, so we're going to be reviewing these posters that I have. They're going to look really weird, but they're posters, so what can I say? So this is the endocrine system, as I was talking about. As you can see, that's your pituitary gland right there. And then you got right there that little green one. I'm pretty sure that's the hypothalamus. I might be wrong. Oh, wait. That right there is your hypothalamus. It's super small compared to your pituitary gland. That one's a little longer and bigger. But yeah, so that's the endocrine system. There's also your adrenal glands, but I'm pretty sure that's only on boys. So yeah, let's check out the systems for yeah, that's your pancreas. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's the endocrine system. Next one is the nervous system. The nervous system, this is just an example of your nerves. It's actually kind of hard to see your nerves if you ever do surgery. They're kind of hard to see, but they're not this color. They usually use yellow to point out the nerves because yellow is kind of like electrical, and when you think of the nervous system, you think of electricity because it is electric signal. It is electric signals from your neurons are all connected, and that's what makes nerves. Neurons are cells, obviously, and they connect all throughout your body, and if you touch something hot, ow, it immediately, in like a split second, travels to your brain, and then your brain says, oh, move your hand, so, boom, ow, yeah, that looked really weird, but, yeah, so that's what it looks like. That's what a nerve would look like if you linked all the neurons, which is that, together. So, yeah. Okay, guys, since this video is taking so long, I'm going to do this one and two more, and then we're going to be done. So, this is the respiratory system. So, what's cool is you actually have these, like, kind of like chambers throughout all of it. Like your nasal, yeah, they're called your nasal chambers, I'm pretty sure. And that's where all your oxygen travels when you, that's where some of the oxygen travels. So, those little, these little sockets right here, store the oxygen when you breathe out of your nose, and then I don't really know what those ones do on the top, but so yeah, and when you inhale, obviously it goes into your lungs, and this is a little anatomy of the lungs. You got your apical posterior, your anterior, superior lingular, inferior lingular, inferior lobe, yeah, all the stuff. So, and then you got this, which is that's the tracheal cross-section. So you got your trachea, which is your windpipe, and then you got your esophagus. And then this, right, where is it? Right here. This is interesting. This is your larynx, and if you don't know, the larynx is your voice box, which is the thing that helps you talk and sing, I guess, and all that stuff. So, and it's a little flap. It's like a little flap, and you can, if you train your voice, you can become a singer and control how you use those flaps and make different pitches. So that's really cool how you can do that. Anybody can train to become a singer. That's your diaphragm. which basically contracts and exhales when you inhale and exhale. So when you inhale, it contracts outward, and when you exhale, it like kind of releases back. As you can tell, this person is obviously exhaled because, or is just not breathing maybe, but because the diaphragm is up, not down. So yeah, that's the respiratory system for you guys. Next is the digestive system. This is a huge showing of the digestive system. So this is how the system will go. Eat your food. Goes down your esophagus and sometimes in your trachea, and then you choke. And that's your liver. Filters out the blood. That has nothing to do with it. That's your gallbladder. So it goes down into your stomach. Acid dissolves the food into a liquid, and then it goes in here and starts partially solidifying. So your colon right there, that's the big one. There's a very common cancer in there that can happen anytime. Not to worry any of you, obviously, but like there's a cancer in there that's super common. It's called colon cancer. When you get older, that's when it kind of starts to kick in, colon cancer, but it's super, it's common, but don't worry, you have an unlikely chance of getting colon cancer. And then you got your large intestine, which goes down, and then you got your small intestine, which is a ton of stuff, very long. I think it's about 30 feet if you unraveled it. Then it goes through, I think that's called your, what is it called? I think it's called your deuteron. And then you got, yeah. And, I don't know what this is. That's what it is right there. It's called your, duodenum cut. So that's the duodenum. And then, so that's it, for the digestive system. Only one more, guys. Okay, guys, and finally, the anatomy of the heart. So, I just think the heart's a super important organ, but, so yeah, oh no, cramp, oh, okay, yep, I'm good now. It went away, luckily. So, you got your heart. There's just a bunch of, outward facings of the heart. These are called, capillaries. Your heart has 4 chambers, the tops and the bottom chambers. I can't remember what they're called because it's actually been a while since I've studied, but you got your pulmonary arteries and your aorta. The aorta is the main like sender outer of the blood to everywhere. If you were to cut open your thigh, there'd be the aorta is right there. That's why cutting your leg in a car accident or something can be severely fatal, because if you cut deep enough, it can hit the aorta and you could bleed out internally. That's why it's so bad. That's when sorry guys, I can't remember a lot of things right now, but it's a thing. If my neighbor was over, he'd know. But it's a thing where you tie it really tight. I bet all of you guys are being like, "Oh, that's that." What? But you tie it around your leg to stop the bleeding, because when you do that, it basically like clogs, not like blood clots, but like stops it from bleeding out so much, because if you lose enough blood, you can die. So because your blood, because your bone, which bone marrow is actually where your blood comes from, your bone marrow can't produce blood that fast because of how rapidly the blood is getting lost. So it would just fall out and you'd eventually die. So you gotta put this thing that I don't know what it's called around the leg and tighten it so hard. It would hurt so bad. But for the safety and your life, for the sake of your life, I think you want that kind of pain instead of like dying from internally bleeding, because internally bleeding would be one of the worst deaths, because it would be torture. You would not die fast. And then so yeah, that's the anatomy of the heart. Not really the circulatory system, but just the heart. So yeah. And yeah. Guys, that was it. That's it for the day. That took forever, but I'm glad we got through it. My knees hurt so bad. But I'm glad if anybody watches this, I'll be super happy. And somebody in the comments down below tell me how to make a thumbnail, because if not, I'm never gonna get views without a thumbnail. So thanks. See you guys later.